Thank you very much to the Speaker of Council, Councillor the Chief of Council, Councillor Zulu, the Chair of Chairs, Councillor Phillips, all the Presidents of ActionSA and all the side committees, and fellow councillors. I'd like to also acknowledge the head of administration, City Manager, Mr. Frederick, the chairperson of the political management committee, Mr. Sasabona, the chairperson of the minority governing parties, Councillor Margaret Arnold, the caucus leader of Al-Jama-ah, Councillor Kabelo Gwamanda. Assalamu alaikum. The leadership of all coalition partners, my apologies, I will not be able to go through all of you because we are in the majority and there's a lot of you to go through. My apologies. Our alliance partners, opposition parties, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen in the gallery, residents in the city of Johannesburg, I greet you all. I would first like to begin by quoting a verse from a scripture in the Bible. Luke 22, verse 42. Upon realization of what is to come, the Son of Man fell to his knees and prayed, Father, if it is your will, take this cup away from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but your will be done. This, Madam Speaker, is an explicit sentiment that I share towards the responsibility that has been bestowed upon me. Although inconceivable to compare, it is the will beyond that of my own that I find myself standing before you today. And it is in my view that the responsibility is one that is duty-bound and not a mere title of glamour, prestige, celebrity status, like most of us would like to believe. And as such, the outcome of this democratic process should not be misconstrued with narratives that seek to cast aspersions and suggestive that we as a people are incapable of self-determination, and further insinuate from a position of ignorance that this is a doomsday coalition, simply because the events that are currently unfolding seem unfortunately beyond their rationale. Madam Speaker, in our assurance of stability in the city of Johannesburg, I think it prudent that the residents and stakeholders know and understand who and what this government of local unity is. But most importantly, why the need to form such an agile, inclusive, collaborative unity of purpose. Allow me to register with the House today that this mayorship, and by extension the government of local unity, is bound by a sense of duty embedded in our DNA as a people first, and as the new dispensation. We as the government of local unity stand firm against the imminent threat of this country's passive regression into a retrospective minority rule. Because we too are inclined with the psychological warfare. This, Madam Speaker, is how we, as this collective, protect our freedom and the political interest of our constituencies. Therefore, in managing our contradictions as different political parties with unique ideological facets, we have collectively resolved on a bare minimum as these coalition partners. A bare minimum that is common to all political parties represented in this council, including those in opposition. And that bare minimum is the very same institutional competency called service delivery. Our service delivery mandate, as outlined in the 11 strategic objectives of the GLU that seek to address critical issues in line with the GDS 2040 and that affect the daily lived experience of residents in the city of Johannesburg, is one that is clear, unambiguous, and require no adjustments or attempt to reinvent the wheel. These objectives are as such that they address the context in which the residents interpret what service delivery translates into for them, and specific to each and every region. Mine as the executive mayor is to add but one priority that will serve to strengthen all 9 pillars of the GLU strategic objectives. And that is to improve the quality of service as standard practice across all departments and entities. Our approach as government needs to be respectful to the resident and be resident-centric. We have to we as a government have to provide services that are at least worth paying for, rather than demand payment because it's legislated. It is therefore a fundamental imperative for this administration to adopt a qualitative approach in attempt to trigger the pulse of the city of Johannesburg, post the monumental calamity caused by the previous regime. Let me further note, Madam Speaker, that it is an insult to an accounting officer and the entire workforce of any municipality to suggest that any regime change at local government affects service delivery to the alleged proportions by media houses and oppositions alike. Lest we say large corporations seize their production and run out of products whenever there's a management change. Therefore, through you, Madam Speaker, allow me to reiterate a simple fact to the residents in the city of Johannesburg. Service delivery is an institutional competency of local government. And ours as the government of local unity is to respect you enough to commit towards an improvement of the quality of services that are delivered to all 6 million of you. Madam Speaker, I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the government of local unity partners who have, as a collective, entrusted me with this responsibility of leading the city of Johannesburg, a world-class African city. My predecessor Executive Mayor Kabelo Gwamanda had laid a balanced foundation for programs for this government. Programs that are guided in particular by our GDS 2040 and encouraged by ethos of African orientation and duty towards the betterment of conditions of residents in the city of Johannesburg. As stated in my commitment, my priority for this government is to ensure that this is indeed carried out with the heightened improvement in quality of service delivered across all departments and entities. Madam Speaker, in line with the council calendar, we know that there will be a State of the City address, and we will use that opportunity to unpack our plan as the government of local unity to the citizens in the city of Johannesburg. We will fulfill, together with the African National Congress, Economic Freedom Fighters, the Patriotic Alliance, the minority governing parties, which include the African Independent Congress, the African Hard Congress, the African People's Convention, African Transformation Movement, Congress of the People, the Good Party, the Pan-African Congress, and the United Democratic Movement. Speaker of Council, our interest is for the city to succeed, and we are prepared to work with all political parties represented in Council to ensure that all diverse citizens in the city of Johannesburg are serviced. In conclusion, I would like to also take this opportunity to announce the continuation of the government of local unity in the form in which it operated. I would like to announce the Joburg Executive Mayoral Committee and its members in their respective portfolios. In the Department of Finance, I'd like to announce Councillor Morero as the MMC of Finance. In the Department of Group Corporate and Shared Services, I would like to announce Councillor Loiso Masuku as the MMC GCSS. In the Department of Environment and Infrastructure Services, I would like to announce Councillor Jack Sikweila. In the Department of Public Safety, I'd like to announce Councillor Mpho Phalatse. In development planning, I would like to announce Councillor Eunice Mcin. In the Department of Economic Development, I'd like to announce Councillor Nomoya Dave Nimnis. In the Department of Human Settlements, I'd like to announce Councillor Anthenia Natasha Lesia. In the Department of Community Development, I'd like to announce Councillor Lubabalo Magwenju. In the Department of Transport, I'd like to announce Councillor Kabelo Gwamanda. In the Department of Health and Social Development, I'd like to announce Councillor Eni Makapura. Lastly, Madam Speaker, I am well aware of the vast challenges our city faces. I'm a permanent resident of the city of Johannesburg, born and bred in the dusty streets of Soweto. Madam Speaker, this at a time before there were tar roads, shopping centers, recreational facilities, or infrastructure of any sort. I am a product of the severe conditions that the majority in this country are subjected to. But here I am, proof of the fact that with every generation, there is a revolution. Now let us collaborate in bringing back the heartbeat of the city of Johannesburg. I thank you.